You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich, and alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
No, wait. Oh, what's that?
I really like that guy. Before we get started, I just want to remind you we're being brought to you in partnership with lastwordsports.com as well as pwponderings.com, and you can find us on the Wrestling to the Max Network. You can follow them on Facebook. All right, so we are actually taping early this week because we're pretty excited, and if I wasn't so old and overworked, we would have taped even earlier because this was the first pre or post draft editions of Monday Night Raw and Smackdown, as well as Backlash.
Well, Battleground, but yeah.
Battleground. Sorry, Backlash is on my mind because that's the first Smackdown pay-per-view. So, I mean, you want to start with Backlash, or you want to just go into Raw and kind of talk about how everything played out?
Well, we don't know what's going on yet with Backlash, so if you want to talk about Battleground, maybe, or right. We can do that first.
Okay, excellent. We should probably talk about the event that passed and not the event that's coming, because it's it's too far away.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything about that one yet.
My excitement for this Backlash pay-per-view just is bubbling over, so I just can't.
From 2005 or what?
Yeah, I haven't been this excited.
You've been waiting for a Backlash pay-per-view ever since Batista JBL or something like that?
I mean, you know how much I like the animal. I haven't been this excited for a brand-specific pay-per-view since ECW December to Dismember.
Jeez, and we all know how that one turned out, so it's not setting us up too well.
Some of our audience may not have been born when that was on. Don't watch it on the WWE Network. It's terrible. Is it even on the network? It's got to be, right?
If there's anyone under what? That was like 2008. If there's anyone under the age of 8 like listening to us, that's terrible.
Was that 2008?
Well, One Night Stand was what, 05? The RVD One Night Stand was 06. So 06, 07.
Wow. That's insane. All right. Cool. Anyway, so back to the actual pay-per-view that happened.
Which was? You almost said it.
I feel like Hulk Hogan. It's great to be back in the Superdome. Battleground.
Yeah, I mean, really good pay-per-view. Last week, I prayed that it was Bayley and picked against it so that I would not jinx it and just so that it would happen. And I got exactly what I wanted. In like my predictions that the picks that I do, I said that this match would open the show because I figured if it's a Bayley, then there's nothing better on the show to open it with. And as soon as they started off the show with it, and then, we got to all the hype, and perfect. Absolutely perfect. The crowd went insane.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I had to watch it later because I was at the Guns N' Roses concert. But I actually watched...
Which they mentioned on Raw, right? Or SmackDown, one of them.
Yeah. I was actually watching... I don't really like Lenny Kravitz that much. So during that, I realized that I got connected to the Wi-Fi at MetLife Stadium. So I was very excited about that. And I immediately put the network on. It took a little while to connect. And then the first match that came on, and the only match I got to watch... Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens.
That was meant to be.
So it was amazing because that's the match that even now, even after watching the whole thing, I can say that, for me, I guess Bayley was great. I was very excited about it. WWE's terrible past booking choices led me to go off the beaten path and pick someone ridiculous. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you, but unfortunately it has been published on the internet, so I might as well share it. I decided to look up female wrestlers from Washington, D.C. Because I thought maybe they were just going to do something crazy. So I decided that was going to be Mickie James. And then I watched the event, and I'm like, okay, so I was totally wrong. I wanted it to be Bayley. I said I wanted it to be Bayley, and then I changed it because I wanted to be right. I thought that I was just going with what I wanted, and they gave us what we all wanted. I mean,
yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be wrong, even though I knew that I would be. It was great moment, great match. Sasha got the win with the bank statement, the tap out, so really good. Especially feeding into what we got to see on Monday, which was a crazy match where they both could have died, and just the Eddie Guerrero spot, knowing that Sasha Banks' favorite wrestler, and perfect. And how it worked out, I still, not for a second did I think Sasha Banks was winning. I thought Dana was going to come back out and cost her. Something was going to happen. And when she got her in the bank statement the second time, or rolled through, whatever, I was like, wow, holy shit. And, she tapped out, and they were all crying. Crazy moment. The crowd was insane. Perfect. Perfect for women's wrestling and all of that. But before we get your thoughts, they really have to stop with that. Is every time we get a new champion, are they going to give a speech about saving women's wrestling? We can't keep doing that.
No, I think that this is the last time we hear that.
I hope so, because it was Nikki Bella, then it was Charlotte, then it was Sasha. If Bayley wins, is she not going to give a speech about this is her dream and I can't wait to women's wrestling? You know what I mean? I get it. I get what they're going for, but if you feel the need to point it out, then you're acknowledging that you don't think it's on the same level still. You know what I mean? And I don't like that.
See, I think the thing is that because it was the transition from the women's type, from divas to women.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sasha, Charlotte was the first one, and Becky was up, but everybody had been waiting for Sasha to come up, and she was the first one to headline a pay-per-view as a at least contemporary female competitor. So I think that she has a point, and it's a different spot now, and you have a bigger audience. So I think this is the last time you had to do it. Now it's over. It's just.
I mean, I get it. The moments of Sunday and Monday made it feel all right, it's arrived, but I just don't want to hear every time somebody wins, I'm going to march in a new era of women's wrestling. I get it.
Yeah. No.
That's what everyone is doing with every belt,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of new era going on.
Yes. And I also understand that. Whatever. I'm not going to complain about something that, is so minute.
All right. So, with that aside, then we have the two title matches that were kind of going to be predictable, because if there wasn't one switch, there couldn't only be two switches or no switches. They couldn't have one brand with both belts. So you have The Miz retaining against Darren Young with Bob Backlund, and this one made sense because Darren Young shouldn't have won it right away. It would have been too quick of a push, too fast to just put the belt on him, devalue it, just have a random title, change for no reason. And Rusev has been really strong, so him losing to Ryder would have, in any way, I don't think would have been effective.
Yeah, so, Darren Young and The Miz, nobody really cared about that whole angle, all the Bob Backlund stuff. The Maurice faking another injury, and I don't know. It didn't work. I want to like Darren Young, and the people were kind of into it, but by the end, it was silence.
Yeah, and I didn't watch those matches, to be honest with you, in their entirety because I was trying to catch up before I went to work, and
Yeah, neither did I, and I was watching it live.
So it was it was a difficult couple of days in terms of having a good amount of stuff that kind of was must see, and all credit out to Stat Wife. Whoop whoop. Appreciate putting up with it. Hatred of JBL is amazing. Just very exciting there. But I guess we'll just talk about the main event before we move on to the two shows.
Well, I mean, we had the 6-man that was, solid. Cena pinning AJ, so I guess that'll continue or not. I don't know. I would assume it does. We had New Day and the Wyatts, which was solid. I should have, but I didn't think the Wyatts were going to get the win. I should have just figured they would give Bray a win.
I didn't think they would.
See,
I was surprised.
It would have been proven wrong Tuesday, but I was thinking, after Monday, I was thinking, oh, okay, well, who is getting that number one contender on SmackDown? Oh, maybe it's Bray Wyatt. Oh, so, okay, that win over the New Day makes a little sense, so it keeps them strong. So when I put that together, I was like, oh, all right, maybe that'll be, but then obviously we all know that that's not what happened on Tuesday, but we'll get to that. So, okay match, fine, whatever. Strowman looked better. That continued on Raw with a little bit of an updated look, but, moving a little bit faster, looking a little more comfortable. So, hey, we'll see what it is. Clearly he's on Raw because he's Vince's project, so.
Yeah, I guess we'll not skip ahead. We'll just quickly cover the main event, and then we'll head into Raw so we can talk more about that because it ties into a couple of other things. I thought the main event was really great. I was really surprised that Dean got just a clean win.
I'm not, because they had to keep it on SmackDown, I guess, but I'm surprised that Roman took the clean fall. I didn't, I should have seen the punishment coming, but I didn't. I just figured he's Vince's boy. They're gonna look past it. I was even thinking maybe Stephanie helps Roman win the belt, and we go from there in a new direction on Raw. But hey, I'm perfectly fine with what took place. Great match. I love, the Shield has done a fantastic job of anytime they're in a match together, they do the Shield spot. They come together for that one moment, and it's awesome. Every single time it gets such a huge pop, and then as soon as it's over and Ambrose turns around, Rollins attacks him with a chair. So it's just perfect heel work. Oh, okay, hey, let's take out this bigger, badder guy, and then I'm going to jump you as soon as you're not expecting it. So there's not even this is corny, good guy, bad guy getting along. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I the interplay between the three of them is really good, and I like Roman's thicker beard. Yeah. On a side note, I don't know why, but it makes me hate him less for some reason. And even the events on Raw, I'm oddly, I don't know, it's weird. Now I'm like, okay, so you're not winning all the time, so kind of like you.
Thanks for doing whatever you did and getting in trouble, because if this means you got to start from the bottom or work your way back up, but hey, perfectly fine, because he had won me over to an extent when he lost to Brock, and then he was feuding with the Big Show, and he was going through all that. He put on a decent feud, and he had some good matches, and then, it grew with Styles and all of that. So I enjoyed his work throughout the last year. I didn't want him to be the champion, and so whatever. And now he's not, and he won't be for a little while, so I'm going to enjoy it.
No, yeah, it makes me it just makes me more interested to see what's going to happen next. And that's really all that Raw did all night. From the very beginning of the show, I thought that they did a good job. And what's crazy, on a side note, is they don't really have the cruiserweights there yet. Right? They just talked about the division, but they didn't really have like cruiserweight matches. And the idea that Raw was 3 hours and pretty enjoyable and didn't feel like a drag too much.
Yeah. It flew by. Like it was 1, 2, 3. Like I was watching it live, wasn't really doing much else, fucking around during the commercial break, but it flew by. And it's amazing what happens when you start out the beginning saying this is the point of the show, and then everything that happens on the show builds to that point or builds to the side plot of, just Raw debuting and blowing up, blah, blah, blah. So you have the title change. You have the Fatal 4-Ways, which I thought was a cool look. All the guys on the stage, when everyone was called out, it felt like a big deal. And then when Finn Balor was called out, it felt like something special. Everyone was like, oh, shit. The crowd went crazy. Seth Rollins' reaction was like, what the? Oh, no. So it was a really, really well executed, opening. New Day, I think they strategically are positioned on the side of the stage because there's a camera right there, and they are just ridiculous throughout the entire thing. Like just mimicking Sasha Banks, just rolling their eyes, pointing at each other the whole time. They're amazing. Just being entertaining when they're not focused on it. Something I thoroughly enjoy.
Did you see? So on SmackDown, I actually felt that even better than what New Day did. Simon Gotch, because Simon Gotch, they were drafted so further down, and they're not really like getting a lot of mic time. That'll probably change a little bit, but Simon Gotch was just like making comments, like agreeing with stuff, like standing. He's like, "Oh no, that's a good choice. That's a good choice." And I'm just like, "Who are you to do that?" Like this is, I don't know. It was a different side to him that I really enjoyed. So
I didn't see that, and maybe it's the beating that he took from Sin Cara that knocked some sense into him. But I don't know.
You should go. I mean, if you still have access to it and you can go rewatch it,
I will.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just like the first 10 minutes, it's so much fun to watch him in the background. He's freaking hilarious.
That is good. I always enjoy that kind of stuff, so I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, I mean, the first fit, like I didn't know who was winning. Like, the second one, I kind of felt Roman was going to win, but the first match, I really didn't know who was going to win. Yes, this was Balor's debut, but there was also Owens and Rusev and Cesaro. Like it could have went either way. This guy didn't necessarily have to be the main event of SummerSlam, so it could have went either way. It didn't matter.
I was just so shocked by the way the matches played out. I was so surprised the entire night, and I was behind, so I couldn't even look at my phone, and I regret that because I wanted to be just kind of in tune with what everybody else was saying, because I felt like there must have been this just fever pitch of hysterical, reactions. And, I tried to go back and look at it because it really just was, I sat there with my jaw. Like you said earlier in the night, you were like, man, you think Finn, I gotta give you credit. You said, I'll give you credit. Do you think Finn will win? And I was like, no, man.
I don't even think I said that. Like, I think I said something like he's gonna lose to Roman, isn't he? Like they're gonna do it to us. And you were just like, yep, absolutely. I don't even have any hopes.
I had no hope whatsoever. I was so confused as I was watching that match. Even when he hit the last coup de grace, I did not think in any way, shape, or form that he was going to win.
Like, I don't know, man. I even with the suspension, I didn't think, okay, yeah, whatever. They'll build him back up to the main event. But as that match was going on, a part of me was like, wait a minute, like this is Seth Rollins, Finn Balor at SummerSlam is like, that's kind of special. Like that's, that this is a unique thing they have here. And like, I kind of started to believe into it. And, I was supremely into the match. And when he hit the last coup de grace, when he, whatever it is, the drop kick into the corner and Roman rolled backwards. And then like he went up, he hit it. And I was just like, wow, man, like, wow. Okay. And then that was it, man. 1, 2, 3, and just literally like a whoa. That was the first thing I said.
And, it really felt altogether, Monday Night Raw felt like it was really part of a new, I hate saying it, new era. It
was a brand new company.
Dude, the squash matches?
Yep. Nia Jax and who was the other one?
Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean,
perfect.
And one of the so I used to love, like, if Bobby the Brain Heenan was doing the play-by-play with the jobbers, because he would make fun of them. Aside from making fun of them, the only other thing that I ever wanted to really hear is their thought when some crazy guys come into the ring. Like, that guy got to cut a promo as Braun Strowman's coming down and just be like, well, I have 2 hands, so I have a chance. And this guy, that
guy was permanently scared.
That's what I mean. But legit, and then with that new haircut, if I saw that man walking down an alleyway and I was, a tight spaced alleyway, so I can't just, easily walk around him, I would be very intimidated. Very intimidated.
Yeah, I really like the just, shaved heads, whatever. It just works. It's a nice little change to make this feel new and feel different, and seeing him in a squash match, which we haven't really seen before, and then seeing one with Nia Jax, like the girl's lip is busted. It's perfect. That's what these beasts should be doing, is just running through everyone. And Corey Graves was great on commentary. I loved that the commentary booth was on the stage now. And then SmackDown was same old SmackDown. So it was just like, oh, fuck you. You just give everything to Raw. But, it was a nice feeling for Raw. It was a cool, this is something different. So, hey, I give them credit for that.
I really liked the commentary table being up top. That, that again brought me back to, Saturday Morning Superstars. I'm forgetting the name right now. WWE Superstars on Sunday, right? Saturday was Saturday Morning Slam. No, I'm forgetting the names. Either way, it was like watching those shows with them standing there, and I really
Nitro. I loved that, and right away the zoom up and then into the ring was like, I love that. What a great view. All right, thank you.
The only thing that so now there are no commentary tables ringside, right? I mean, where's the Spanish table on Raw?
I don't know. They were all in the back area, where I got along the side, I guess, or where. So I don't know.
So then it's just interesting because that means that Raw, is going to move away from the reliance on the commentary table, man, for a big spot.
Well, that makes it an even bigger spot when they do it to the stage and, they mess up that whole thing.
Man, so that's really going on your way to put someone through a table. Tossing them outside the ring and being right there.
It's a brawl, you know what I mean? So now when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens brawl up the stage, oh, shit, hey, we got a table here, boom. But just a nice, fresh feeling. And that's all you want from this whole thing, is to not feel like it's one company in the exact same show.
And so you were saying that the SmackDown announced team kind of stayed together, down by ringside. I did like that Morrow was front and center, and then he's clearly the lead there. I thought it was. Did you notice how I just noticed weird things? Like 2 of the 3 of them matched certain things. Like I think Moro, let's say, was wearing a pink tie, and so was JBL. But then JBL was wearing purple, and so was Otunga.
No, I didn't. But anyway.
Oh, I thought that. Well, it was like, it feels like a team right away. I liked all. Well, I don't like JBL. Just kind of getting a little. I'm just if it takes me out of the match. He's saying things that are distracting to me.
Yeah, I mean, he has that effect.
And I honestly felt the same way about Booker T. I mean,
Yes. They're just there for like the pure entertainment, not for anything else. And Booker T at least was, I don't know, you could find humor in it, but like JBL is just like, yo, shut up, man. It's just annoying.
Like when I listen to ROH, I actually really like their Kevin Kelly on commentary. I think he does a really good job. He gives you backstory about the guys you don't know about. He makes them sound like, like they're a big deal.
And that's what like Morrow and Corey Graves do, is that they put over the guys and the stories and the moves and the this and the that. Where, the older generation of WWE commentators, they don't do that.
JBL just does crazy stuff. Just shouts.
Yeah.
I wish I would have written everything down that he said this week because it was worse because it was live. I think he's better when he's taped.
Well,
you can control him.
That's not going to happen. So
they really need to drop the live out of it, though.
It is what it is. I understand why it hasn't ever been live. So you're promoting it as that change. That's fine. We got new logos for each show. That's okay. It's good.
So right now, after the first week, actually, I don't want to make that judgment yet. What did you think about the Battle Royal? I know that you had your thoughts about who was going to win right away.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy the Battle Royal. Who doesn't? But I just, when I was looking around the ring, there wasn't many people who could win. Del Rio, Apollo Crews. But why would you have this match if it was going to be somebody anticlimactic? If it was going to be Kane.
I thought it was going to be Kane.
When you say stuff like that, I'm just like, what the fuck is like? How do you even think that?
Okay, because if I wasn't completely sold that they're going to buy into this. So Kane fits in that match.
Off the first ever live SmackDown of this new era with Kane in the main event.
I mean, Kane as a sixth man in a match, I don't think is a terrible. There's some choke slams, some Kane clotheslines off the top rope. Like, Kane wouldn't have been bad in that match. Kane has always been good in those spots. You may not like him, but he's good there.
Yes,
he doesn't have to. He's not going to be the guy who wins, but
correct. And is there a need for that in the brand new era of wrestling? Like, why would it be Kane?
Because he can carry other guys and make other guys look good in the match. And I thought they were going to focus on AJ. I thought AJ was going to win.
Yeah. And for the same reason that Cesaro and those guys don't win. I don't know. Yes, it would be good, but it's not going to happen.
All right. Well, anyway, Apollo Crews wins the Battle Royal to join the six-pack challenge. I do have to, before part of that also was Heath Slater coming out and trying to insert himself to make it a magnificent 7-pack challenge. And then the most disgusting, deplorable thing happened. And Shane McMahon comes out, and then he says to Heath Slater staying in the ring, Rhino comes out, and he's talking about being the biggest free agent. He's like, yeah, I see the biggest free agent. And it's Rhino. I mean, Rhino's the biggest free agent? Rhino? This dude stopped being relevant how long ago?
Not that long ago. He's on NXT every now and then.
I don't want to see him.
Yeah, I don't want to see Rhino.
I don't want to see him. I know that Heath Slater is eventually going to do something. I know that. And I just like him, I guess. And I'm marking out a little bit. But I just did not like Rhino in that spot.
I've enjoyed Rhino. He's never been my favorite wrestler, but I've never despised him either. But I don't necessarily want to see him, but I'll enjoy seeing him put over some of these guys and gore his way through some of the whacker guys. Hey, whatever. It's a known name that means something. Whatever.
His body shape is so disturbing to me.
It's worse as he's got older. I think
I'm not gonna lie. That's
really shrunk.
my real issue with it is my real issue with him showing up. I believe is the body shape. It's just disturbing to me. Did you? I did like Heath Slater recovering when he was like, "Sign a resume." Sign a resume? You want, go to WWE and then you can look at and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you kind of just powered through it. Ignored the flub the second time.
Yeah, I enjoyed that he has a legitimate, history to him in WWE that really nobody knows about. So that's always fun. But, it was a good promo. I always enjoy Heath Slater. He's always entertaining to me. So, hopefully this is, at least the start of something for him. At least he has his own storyline going right now. Whether it ends in anything or whatnot, but at least for the moments, he has something.
I mean, Swagger got drafted, and he's far more relevant than Heath Slater is.
Yeah, exactly.
Being undrafted might be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When they put this guy in these crazy situations and he kills it every time, hopefully one time they're going to be like, oh, shit, let's just give him a shot. He's not going to be the world champ. He doesn't have to be a champion, but he can be a believable undercard, low card heel. Like that you need those kind of guys. So let him get some wins. Let him get some credibility. Let him be a tag team. Something.
I mean, he started Nexus, so,
Nexus, the core. Well, he didn't start any of them, but Nexus, the core, 3MB, and the one-man band.
I thought that was pretty funny. I was
it
like,
was
wait,
awesome.
What did he just say? What did he just say?
Awesome. Yeah, you don't want to remind people about those things, but hey, that's all right.
And then, so all the guys cut promos backstage before the main event. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to be a little picky here. I don't like the all kind of dark black background. Like they're just in a dark, they're like in a room. It reminds me of like when you used to watch, I don't know if you remember, like Looney Tunes, and you'd have like Bugs or Daffy speaking to the artist, and he would be like erasing the background and stuff. I just don't. Why not just have the WWE like logo on? And I'm pointing behind me, by the way. Like anyone can see this as they're listening. But why not have the WWE logo just like on a curtain or something? I don't.
I don't mind those black background promos. Like they just remind me of the old school, like how they used to just have them on, whatever. Like you said, the Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons. The guys used to just cut the promos in the little corners of the screen and blah, blah, blah. So, yes, maybe they can get some type of background up there, but in such a small part of the screen, maybe you don't need it.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I like those. And then, you had mentioned something, when we were speaking, and I said I had the exact same feeling that when Dolph Ziggler cut his, backstage little promo, it kind of felt like, okay, if he doesn't win this, then what the hell was this promo? He cut a very good promo about how this was a whole new start and he wasn't going to be held back anymore, and this was his opportunity. He wasn't going to miss out a second time. And I completely agreed with you that, it made me feel like he had a legit shot.
I don't know what it was. I'm not sure if it was just his delivery or what he said, but I believed him.
Yeah.
I just really bought that he felt like he was going to win, and that made me go, what if he were to win? And I mean, I'm not saying that I called anything. I drafted Ziggler because he's really good, and I thought that he could do something important, to wherever he was drafted. So when we did our top 10 draft, or top 20 whatever draft, I picked him pretty high, which is a little surprising based on what he's been doing lately, but I didn't think it was surprising based on what he could do. And I'm glad that the powers that be agree, because I want to see him successful and working longer matches with really great guys and pulling off the win. I think that's going to be great for SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think last week I was saying how when you look at that SmackDown roster, like it opens the door for a guy like him, and this could be his time. But I when he won the match, I was stunned. But when he won, and then him and Ambrose had the stare down, something just felt like I wasn't totally sold yet. So like I need to see something else from him, to really sell me on this. That he's resurged and he's back, because he's fallen a long way.
It really has. The build is going to be interesting going forward. Do you think they keep him as the face, or do you think they turn him heel?
I think he's got to be heel, especially because, to me, once you separate AJ from the club, he has to be a face at some point. So I think, if you have Ambrose, if you have Dolph, if you have Ambrose, Cena, maybe AJ at some point, then that's your three top baby. Orton is a baby face. So they need some heels. I think that's a big problem, because they have Bray. That's it. Corbin. They don't have that main event heel. So I think Dolph needs to switch that up quick.
Were Raw and SmackDown really far apart? I know SmackDown was in Buffalo, right? Where was Raw?
No idea.
Okay. I'm just trying to. Well, no, because we're talking about the club breaking up, and I just always think that's funny. I mean, if they're a lot of times if they do like Raw at the Barclays, they do like SmackDown at Madison Square Garden or something, or Jersey, somewhere close. So I'm just like, they could always show up, because they were saying like that they're not really split.
Yeah.
But then AJ did say that you guys took the club away from me. Which I'm just like, why can't your boys just come out and be there with you, man? One more night. If you guys are real friends, like, I don't understand. You show up to Raw and help them out. Like, I don't know. I do that for you, guy. Don't worry. You make it to WWE. All right.
It would be cool if they just were bucking the rules and just did whatever they wanted. But I guess they're not at that importance level yet where they feel they could do something like that cool and that unique.
Yeah. All right. I understand that.
That would be awesome if they linked up with Balor. They had AJ. They had the WWE. They had the Universal. They had the tag belts, and they just said, "Fuck you. We're running Raw. We're running SmackDown. We're everywhere." So hey, maybe we will get that. Maybe we will get something similar. But I won't hold my breath.
All right. I guess in terms of SmackDown, is there anything else you wanted to go over?
No, I don't understand why there was no American Alpha. It really doesn't make much sense to me.
Oh, Shelton's back, though.
Shelton is back, but, this is your first show, so theoretically the most people are going to be watching this, and you don't give them your hottest signing. The crowd went nuts when they signed Alpha, and to not have them have a match, you really did not need Miz TV. This is about the wrestlers, and this is not about us, and blah, blah, blah. And then we have a Miz TV segment where he interviews himself. Are you kidding me? On the first episode? Come on, man. Like, that's an opportunity to bring somebody back. That's an opportunity to do something that matters. You could have just had him versus Orton. That would have been fine. I didn't need anything.
But then how do we know that we're going to Viperville?
Because he said it on Sunday.
Viperville is awful.
No enhancements required. It's Suplex City. That's why he's saying, like, everyone says something that they're going to curb stomp Central. Like everyone says something when they're facing Brock. It's just a thing. They feel that need to spin it in their own way.
During our match, you're going to be stopped by Laconia Gardens.
Yeah, there you go. Laconia Lane.
See, Lane is so much better than Gardens. I don't know why I went for the horribly unimposing Gardens. Before I forget, just want to, finally we're getting some recognition from those Cheap Heat guys, the other podcasts that some people listen to. They're not highly as rated as we are on my block here in Brooklyn, but just some interesting stuff actually coming out of Shoemaker with pointing out a lot of things that we talked about. I thought that it shows that how many people are just so positive about what's going to happen. I'm still a little, I don't know, there's a part of me I think that feels that this is only temporary and we'll see how long it lasts. Like, what if I'm scared that in 6 months the ratings aren't good, so they go back to like same old.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I don't think they can introduce the new belt, and like they have to give this a shot, and when it happened the first time, it lasted a while. So hopefully it will, they let it go, and SmackDown really has a shot to build up some of these guys and get some call-ups and, balance things out.
Agreed. Ring of Honor TV's about a month behind what's actually happened recently in the VOD, but like I've been saying for a little bit, really, it's not about the weekly show. It's actually about the VOD. I know it doesn't really make sense in terms of trying to draw people in just to watch your product, because when I think that the people who are watching this are the same people that are going to already have read the spoilers, weeks in advance. And I think that some of the VOD content needs to be actually just TV content.
They never really found a way to balance the booking of their events and their TV, and they just play on two different timelines, and it really is not a good look. And it's been going on for a while, so they got to change something if they want people to actually care about their TV show.
I mean, I know it's crazy, but maybe even, I don't know, because the thing is, if you I know that when you go to Lucha, you have to like sign some sort of non-disclosure agreement, right? So that you don't reveal any of the results.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they need to go that far or just change how they're distributing their content schedule, and if you're going to do specials, like I know like a month ago or a month and a half ago, it hasn't happened in a while, but they had 2 weeks in a row of like best of specials, and they had already done the taping. So, I mean, you just need to get your editing out there quicker. And I know it's not easy to render a video, and it takes a long time even just to render our hour and something podcast sometimes. That's why it takes me a while to get it up on YouTube. I understand it's a complicated process. But a week's time has to be enough turnaround.
You're not $1 million company. You're one person. They should be able to hire 5 people to just edit some shit quicker.
Totally agreed. So, and then tonight's we haven't as of the taping right now. The Cruiserweight Classic is starting tonight, so we're gonna have. Or continuing, you have Sabre is wrestling tonight against Tyson Dukes.
Dukes, yeah.
I'm not sure what other matches. I know that was a big one that was sticking out tonight.
Gulak is wrestling right now. I mean, I've watched NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic while we've been just recording this. So,
good. Okay.
It's been solid. The NXT was really interesting because it's turning over of a new leaf, It's the Mighty Don't Kneel, whatever their names are, TM61. on NXT, and then it was Kota Ibushi wrestling on NXT. So really, like, oh, okay, this guy is here anyway, regardless of the Cruiserweight Classic. He's just on NXT, and it's nice to see the changeover. Like, we got rid of some people that probably deserve to get called up, except for Ty Dillinger, but that's okay. And we're getting another influx of talent, which is all people ever worry about.
And the crazy news, really, from Cruiserweight, right, is that Cedric Alexander, Sabre Jr., Grand Metalik, Ibushi, who else? Someone else.
TJP.
They're offered. Yeah, TJP. Like, I can't believe I forgot that one. All being offered contracts. Now, it said they were offered, so I'm not sure. I haven't read anything about them being confirmed.
Yeah.
You would imagine?
I mean, I can't. I literally can't imagine any of them saying no to being on Raw weekly. Like, that's pure insanity, And looking at those guys that they're signing, they're not like 22-year-old guys. They're older guys. They're experienced veterans. They're guys who know how to conduct themselves in all elements of wrestling. So it's not like they're giving the ball to people who don't know what they're doing. This is just these guys getting a straight chance, and that's crazy to just skyrocket right to Raw like that, if that is indeed what happens. But there's got to be some go between with NXT, so it's going to be fun. And I remember the other day you were saying like, oh man, what the hell is Evolve going to do? Like, they're losing Gargano, maybe they lose TJP, they're losing Sabre, and I was like, yo, they'll be fine. And then 2 days later, it's Ospreay, it's Ricochet coming back, and it's just like, get the hell out of here. It's you improved somehow.
It's going to be amazing. I mean, I can't wait for the show. September 11th, it's going to be nuts. They just keep getting better. These guys being signed to Raw is just amazing. I know some of them are probably in NXT, but I just can't wait to have all these guys up and being able to watch them on TV, and not. I mean, I love going to the events too, and it's kind of like seeing.
It just makes all of that so much better, to see these guys on Raw. Oh, I just saw him last week, 3 blocks away from my house, and now here he is. And now, it's going to make the next set of shows even better because that there's a possibility of people getting called up to Raw. So it just makes stuff like so much crazier.
It's crazy times, my friend.
Like, could they legitimately just have an independent wrestling federation on Monday Night Raw? Like, could they just have ROH in an hour on Monday Night Raw? Like, that's completely possible.
I mean,
like, what if they just sign Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, the Young Bucks, Roddy Strong, Kenny Omega, and they just straight up, oh yeah, you're all gonna fight for the cruiserweights. That's not appropriate. But I'm just saying they could legitimately do that.
I'm going to tell you something right now. As the ROH reviewer for PW Ponderings, if that were to occur and that all that talent were to be, I would be so sad.
Your job would be easier. You just cover it an hour on Mondays.
I don't even know. I mean, maybe it operates like, like WCW from like 8:30 Nitro, right? Like 8:30 after they did the main angle and like said what the main event would be. From 8:30 to like 9:30 was just like the Lucha Cruiserweight stuff. Maybe they'll do that? Because it's not going to start the show.
It can't start the show, but maybe they. I don't think. I don't know. Do you dedicate a block of time that you're committed to always, or you just throw them out there whenever they fit? I think that would be the better way to go. But they have to have some time. They have to have some intrigue. There has to be some stories. So that's going to be the interesting part, because you're going to throw 10 to 15 new characters at people that the wide majority of the audience doesn't know. And so it's tough to throw people out there cold, despite what they can do. And, so that's going to be the interesting part. How much a part of Raw are these guys?
If these guys are all coming in, like, how long before Marty Scurll shows up?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, can they legitimately just have an indie show? Like, that's what this could become. And
if Marty
Scurll
Scurll shows up,
do those guys wrestle elsewhere? Or are they strictly? They can't wrestle elsewhere. They can't be on Monday Night Raw and then wrestling in a gym on Wednesday. Right? They can't.
Well, the shows are usually Fridays, but yeah, I know.
Vince McMahon wouldn't allow it.
Meek man.
Yeah, there's no way.
Man, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. That's really all.
It's a lot of fun.
Say,
man.
but
It's good times.
They're taking so much good talent that I can't even properly populate my WWE universe in 2K. I'm gonna have to wait for the new one to come out because there's just so many guys to try to download and keep up with all these sign-ins. I can't believe it. And then of course there's the dreaded. We're still about a month away from the weekend that might make or break my life, which of course is Ring of Honor Friday night for Death by Dishonor, NXT Saturday night, SummerSlam Sunday night, Raw Monday night, SmackDown Tuesday night, and NXT Wednesday night.
I mean, at least you're not going to any of them, so that's okay.
That's even worse. At least she doesn't have to experience it.
Well, I mean, it's not like Stat Wife is not somewhat a fan. She might get a little bit sick of
JBL.
Certain things by Wednesday, but you'll be able to watch some things on the network and some things late night or whatever the case.
I'm gonna just have to up my gigabyte data usage and just just while I'm driving, listen to the network. Because kids don't watch WWE Network and drive. It's dangerous.
No.
All right. Well, I think we covered a lot this week. Got anything left over there, bud?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, on that note, I just want to remind you guys that you can find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube as well. You can follow us directly, Running Wild LWOS on Twitter, and you can email us at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me at Rich_Laconi on Twitter as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.